Well, welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Monday, February 14th, 2022. Something happens on February 14th, right?
It's Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Only that side of the table got the memo.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Hello, happy Valentine's Day. What, that might have been a little loud there. It wasn't that loud. God. Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the partnership between Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots Magazine. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ plus experience. We bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our community. And hopefully I can talk soon.
Roku is auto-adjusting the sound as we speak. I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Al Ferguson. Let's welcome anchor FayWhat. She is a radio and television personality and has a popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L and the G together. She's a hostess and an MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate, and owner of Faye's Fur Family. Also, make sure to catch the FayWhat Show, the first LGBTQ plus morning show, Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern online or on your smart TV. Good evening, Faye.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, and I've got to get a plug in for you.
What's
You're
that?
going to be hosting Ocho, Gay Ocho.
Gay Ocho, yes.
Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, you know, this beautiful human that her name was Lynn Beauvais. She started Lynn's Girl Central many years ago. She has passed away a couple of years ago, and so she started this girl part of Gay Ocho, and I get to be one of the great MCs. Me and this incredible girl, Chiqui Lulu, will be taking over the stage for the girls this coming Sunday at Calle Ocho, which is Gay Ocho. It's going to be a fun, fabulous festival all day long. Bring your family and come on through.
And I understand the gringos call it the Gay 8 Festival.
You call it the Gay 8. Every time you say Gay 8, I go Gay Ocho. And, and then you look at me and you go Gay 8.
Got it. All right. Well, I'll be there front row. I'll be the one with the eggs in my hand. All right.
Okay. Security.
Insecurity.
All right, let's welcome our friend anchor Dale Stine. He received a master's degree from the world famous Juilliard School. He's a well-known photographer and is famous for his photographs of internationally acclaimed DJs, producers, drag personas, politicos, business people, and entertainers, including me. Yes, he is presently the director of music ministry at Unity on the Bay and moderator of South Florida's largest LGBTQ plus Facebook group, Miami Gay List, which is now also on Instagram as Miami Gay List Official. Dale is currently vice chair of Miami Beach's Human Rights Committee. Good evening, Dale.
Hi there, and happy Monday. I'm going to leave it at that.
You're wearing a red shirt.
Yeah. I will do a token color thing.
All right.
Let's welcome anchor Nora Rotella, a founding partner of Rotella and Hernandez, a full-service immigration and family law firm. She's a Supreme Court certified family law mediator and was co-chair of the Gay and Lesbian Lawyer Association and winner of Florida's Legal Elite Award. Good evening, Nora.
Good evening, Dale. I'm so happy to be back. It's been months and I totally forgot it was Valentine's Day. Oops, not good for me.
Do you have anybody in your life?
Hello, Patty, are you watching?
I hope my wife isn't watching.
Oops.
Let's move right along.
All right, quickly.
Let's welcome then anchor Victor Diaz-Herman. He is a first-generation Cuban-American advocate, activist, fundraiser, and strategist. He serves as the CEO of Prideline, South Florida's oldest direct services agency for LGBTQ plus. I'm having the same problem.
Right? What happened with the lesbian mouth today, right?
LGBTQ people. All that work we were doing last night.
Yeah. I mean, not with each other. I mean,
that's right. No, are separate.
This is a cunning story.
Wait.
That's right. Let me get back to your introduction, please. LGBTQ People and grassroots 501c3 nonprofit organizations founded by gay and bisexual youth for LGBTQ youth and their allies. He is also CEO of Worth International Media Group with exclusive brands such as Recommend and Preview in the businesses of creating stylish, engaging, and content-rich media solutions for the global travel and tourism industry for over 50 years. Good evening, Victor.
Good evening, Nora. Thank you.
That took me a long time
for that
to say.
introduction. I may have fallen asleep halfway through.
Oh gosh.
Something about the your mouths working together that
right.
made me
Wow.
another
Tune out.
Exactly.
That should have woken you guys up.
Oh gosh, here we are. So we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headline. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Monday, February 14th.
Well, let's begin by queering up politics. Florida LGBTQ plus Democratic Convention says GOP will not erase our children, trans, or LGBTQ. Hundreds of Florida's LGBTQ political leaders met this weekend at the Florida LGBTQ plus Democratic Caucus winter meeting called Turn It Up, Turn It Out. The three-day meeting in St. Petersburg was ironic as the legislative session is going on in Tallahassee. The session is turning out to be the greatest assault on LGBTQ rights in Florida history. The LGBTQ plus community is under full attack by Governor Ron DeSantis and conservative GOP lawmakers. The Capitol has various bills working through committee, including assaults on children in schools with Don't Say Gay. The woke bill to encourage parents to sue schools and teachers if their children feel uncomfortable in the classroom with LGBTQ language. There's even legislation moving to ban books in libraries and more. A comprehensive selection of dynamic panels were held at the caucus on trans rights, librarians talking about how to face book bans, teachers discussing free speech in classrooms, and many more. This year, midterm elections are vitally important as the LGBTQ plus community faces vital attacks at all levels. I had exclusive interviews over the weekend with Congresswoman Val Demings in her very first LGBTQ plus interview in her campaign against Senator Marco Rubio. She arrived, by the way, riding her Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Demings passionately explained that she had 3 children of her own and said that DeSantis, quote, should keep his hands the hell off our children, end quote. I also had an emotional exclusive interview with former Governor and Congressman Charlie Crist. The candidate for governor to unseat DeSantis discussed his reaction to Florida in national and international headlines over what Tallahassee is doing to the LGBTQ plus community. Crist simply replied, quote, it's embarrassing, end quote. There was also a firebrand speech from the only out lesbian in the Florida legislature, Michelle Rayner. She is running for the U.S. Congress and had a blistering assessment of the politics we are seeing against the LGBTQ plus community. Her interview with me afterwards was akin to being in a Southern Baptist church with the preacher who is preaching up a storm, but advocating for the LGBTQ plus community against hate. A highlight for me was a live interview for conference participants as we connected via satellite with Senator Chevron Jones and the first LGBTQ, he was the first LGBTQ Florida senator, and Carlos Guillermo Smith, the first Latino LGBTQ plus Florida legislature, as they both discussed from Tallahassee what they are facing in the Capitol. You will see these interviews and much more this week exclusively on Queer News Tonight.
All
Wow, you had a busy weekend.
Busy weekend.
No wonder you didn't answer my text. I just wanted to know what you thought about my red dress. Damn.
He's rubbing elbows with all the political elite. You know?
So Deming showed up in a motorcycle, a Harley, not even a motorcycle, you know, like I'm talking about it like it's a big wheel, a Harley Davidson, that.
You know, it was the first time that I met Congresswoman Deming. She was the mayor of, or I'm sorry, she was the police chief of Orlando. Right. She gives that vibe. She walks in the room and she owns it. She owns it. She walks in owning it, and I'm sure that is partially her experience in law enforcement. Arrives on a motorcycle. She does a speech and just literally slays it. I mean, just floored everyone. And then I was going to talk to her immediately, and we were going to do 10 minutes, and I waited for about 40 because she was mobbed. Wow. And so many people, autographs, pictures, and then she was very gracious and stood with us to do the interview. And wait till you see the interview. It is really just incredible.
Wow. And then what she says to our governor is so spot on. Keep your freaking hands off our children.
Yeah. What's going on with the book ban is so reminiscent of Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. If you ever read the book or saw the film, it's quite alarming. I mean, I feel like we're really living that out in real time, and yet they won't ban guns. I mean, I mean, it's just the most wackadoodle thing, and what an embarrassment the state continues to be, in spite of how fabulous.
Well, and you know, interesting, the observation that you just make, I echo again. Charlie Crist said exactly what you just said. I tried to set him up to say, you know, Florida is exporting this. 7 states since Florida started this have now taken up the same type of laws. This is a playbook that is being created by conservative think tanks, and they're being followed.
Which is a misnomer, really.
Right, an oxymoron.
Oxymoron.
And I asked Governor Crist, you know, you were the former governor of Florida as a Republican, by the way, and now representing the state as a congressman, and now you're running for governor to unseat DeSantis. I asked Congressman Crist, I said, will you please confirm to the LGBTQ community that you are not running for president of the United States in 2024? And of course, his reaction is, thank you for that. There's only one candidate running for governor that is running for president of the United States in 2024.
We all know who that is.
And exactly. And then I asked him in terms of his reaction of the reflection of Florida nationally and internationally, and he flatly, right to the point, to what you just said. I'm embarrassed.
God, that's crazy. Look, I know that we're going to see a lot of this week, your interviews, etc., but I got to ask you about the lesbian. Michelle Rayner, like, she is amazeballs. No pun intended. She is like amazing.
You know, I thought about you as I was watching her speak. No.
You're not.
She's not.
You're married.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Beautiful black woman.
Yes.
And I'm not kidding you. When she speaks, she's electric. I thought about you because I was thinking, oh goodness, Faye would just be thrilled to be talking to this congresswoman or to this House representative. She's the first lesbian, but she's running for the U.S. House of Representatives. She is going to bring. There is a headline that came out of the weekend, and I forget what paper around the country, but the headline is basically, this black lesbian may be the greatest thorn in Governor DeSantis's side. And it was a bullseye headline because she cocks her head, side eyes, and then goes, okay, now let's read you to filth, and reads to filth. And so smart, so smart. We're going to hear a lot from a Representative Michelle Rayner. Pay attention. Yeah.
Well, next let's queer up the world. Russia attempts to close LGBTQ plus rights group. Last week, the Russian Justice Ministry filed a lawsuit wanting to close down Sphere Foundation, the legal organization which runs the Russian LGBTQ plus network, saying the group violates traditional values. A statement by the press services for St. Petersburg court reads, quote, the plaintiff claims that all the activities of the organization are aimed at supporting the LGBT movement in Russia and disseminating these views, involving minors in these activities, financing these activities in order to change the legislation of the Russian Federation regarding the LGBT movement, All the activities of the sphere are at odds with the state policy aimed at preserving, increasing, and developing human capital, taking into account the territorial settlement. The activities of LGBT communities and their activists are aimed at a large-scale and conceptual change in the perception of the institution of the family, traditional family values in terms of gender identity, end of quote. This is the first time that the government is using the new anti-LGBTQ plus propaganda laws to try and shut down an assistance organization via the courts.
You know what's crazy is that Sphere has been helping LGBTQ plus folks in Russia for a bunch of years now, and they've been doing it under the radar. Like nobody has, they're using all the right wording, all the right verbiage to just stay right under. And now, unfortunately, they might not be able to help some people in the future after this.
I'm sure they're facing huge litigation if they're being sued by Russia in the court system to essentially shut them out. I mean, they may eventually just be gone completely.
And the sad thing is it's not surprising because we know that Russia is not the most supportive of their LGBTQ people. So.
And you would think Putin, who just seems like the gayest person in the world, I mean, like, having his photo shoots on horses and naked. I mean, doesn't he do like the gayest things? I don't get it.
Exposing his chest.
I would be remiss if I didn't make the connection of the two stories that we just did. I've spent all weekend listening to all of the analysis from representation of allies for the LGBTQ community in Florida and direct LGBT advocates. Political advocates in Florida fighting for everything. They are the ones that fought for marriage equality in Florida, and now they're fighting for trans, the health ban and trans representation, even to the point of banning books that mention LGBT. It's interesting to me what we have just reported on in Russia, that this is led in a very orchestrated way by the premier, President of Russia, Putin. I really don't see, you could remove President of Russia, Putin, and insert Governor of Florida, DeSantis, and it be the exact same conclusion.
Yeah.
That's a scary moment for the LGBTQ community. Then you can take that one step farther in terms of that long quotation of what the court in St. Petersburg summarizes on why they're going to ban this organization, and take the St. Petersburg court reference of making this statement and insert the Florida House and Senate and come to the exact same conclusion. This is a very scary time in Florida because we are watching strong-armed individuals take control of society in Russia and the capital of Florida simultaneously.
Scary times. Next, let's queer up gay culture. Gay billionaire Peter Thiel is going all in on Trump wannabes for midterm elections. Gay billionaire and Trump supporter Peter Thiel is stepping down from his position on the board of Meta, Facebook's parent company, so that he can dedicate his time and money to supporting other candidates like Trump in the midterm elections. Thiel, who donated $1.25 million of his Facebook fortune to Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign, also helped jumpstart Rafael Ted Cruz's political campaign. Thiel was one of the board members who led the fight to allow right-wing propaganda on Facebook, saying that he would, quote, take QAnon and Pizzagate conspiracy theories any day over a ministry of truth, end quote.
Wow.
Wow.
Bring back that crazy pizza game. Come on, bring it
How do we
back.
get rid of this? I mean, this is, these last three stories have all kind of had the same theme going on, and it is really scary. And my question really, and I don't know if anyone can answer this, but where did this all start? How did this all, how did we get here again?
To be honest with you, and I think that that's a really good question. It started in 2015 when the norms of conservative GOP politics was set on its ear by Donald Trump. We are watching in Florida, for example, way beyond Donald Trump. Donald Trump never advocated for the kinds of things that are going on in Tallahassee right now. But he started the snowball at the top of the mountain down, And it was only this big when it started in 2015. Now he's gone, and a year later it's even worse because the snowball is as big as this.
And don't you think it's also the backlash to gay marriage, otherwise known as marriage, being made legal? We've seen a backlash. So as rights are increased, the fear is increased on that side, which is crazy and maniacal and overly conservative. Around the world.
You know, also interesting, I think, 3 of the people at the table are really to blame for all of this.
The ones
I'm going to stand
the representation from Hispanics and from women and LGBT and Black and other minority representation has just scared the heck out of white, cisgendered males in America, and we're going to claim our religion is the preeminent trump card, literally trump card, and we are going to claim in gerrymandering districts and the elections and what we do in the Senate and what we do in the House and what we do in Tallahassee, that we are going to put a stop to you in every possible way, because if we don't, we're going to lose. The trend is, maybe not this year, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we're going to lose. And we're watching probably the implementation of a 10 to 20 year plan to marginalize the control of all of you and LGBT. But that's not the focus. Hispanic, scare, using LGBT as a scapegoat in the ring, Latino, women, Black, other, trans, are how they're going to try to hold on and implement this plan for the next 20 years. And that's why you get to an oxymoron, gaslighting. We talk about gaslighting. It's gaslighting to even say gay, billionaire, Trump wannabe. They don't work. Those words don't work together.
Do you remember him at the Republican National?
Of course.
Okay, where he says, "Oh, I'm proud and I'm gay," and the whole entire room there was like nothing.
Not even crickets. Not even a cricket.
Not even the one homo in the back. Like not even one. Like it was like, oh my God.
It's a scary time. It's a scary time.
Sure is. Well, let's move right along. Let's queer up the USA. Texas State House candidate upset students can't make fun of trans classmates. Watch this.
I don't know any other counties that are more Bible Belt conservative than this district. And it's the Overton window. They have AOC in Congress on the left. And what we have done is become comfortable with what is okay in our society. I am not comfortable with the transgenders, the kids that they brought in my classroom when they said that this kid is transgendering into a different sex, that I couldn't have kids laugh at them like I couldn't have like other kids got in trouble for having transgender kids in my class. That's why I vote for school choice. And my opponent is completely against school choice. Thank you.
Wow. Well, former Spanish teacher Shelley Luther, who is running for the Texas House of Representatives, spoke out against transgender students at a campaign rally on Saturday. On her website, she lists gender mutilation, one of her campaign platforms. The website reads, quote, "Abolish gender mutilation in children. Right now, it is legal in Texas to chemically and surgically castrate a child. The Texas legislatures had the opportunity to ban this in the last session, but refused to do so. I will fight for Texas children," end quote. Shelley gained media attention in 2020 when she refused to close her hair salon due to the pandemic. Her failure to comply with state mandates led her to being arrested and jailed for 7 days. They probably should have left her there a lot longer.
Well, you know, I think she just had one too many bleach jobs, and it's just fried her brain. Maybe they should have kept that salon closed, girl.
That peroxide does a number to you, right?
See, at Queer News Tonight, we can incorporate your hairstyle into the story.
Her hair didn't even look that great.
But, hello.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. What kind of a candidate actually promotes that kind of violence? You know, and among children. Like how in your right mind can you be upset that your kids can't bully another child?
How do those words come out of her mouth like so flawlessly?
Right.
The shock to your question, the shock of the answer is Texas and Florida. And unfortunately,
And
Tennessee,
it's a
and
very
Arkansas.
right-wing mind.
It's just, I don't know.
One of the things that I think is very distressing on this story is, again, the gaslighting. Because if you listen to her comments, and there's a collection of comments that are going on here, she blows the dog whistle first. She blows the dog whistle to say, hey, we're all the Bible Belt. And she's blowing a dog whistle to say, religion, you're going to support me next in what I'm going to say and how I justify this. Well, first off, I'm religious. You
don't get more religious than Dale.
I was going to say.
The church lady.
Or the church lady sitting over here.
Loves four-letter words.
Or Faye, or my faith, and I don't know. But you don't own God. Republicans and this person in Texas, you don't own God, so don't take my God away from me by saying we're the Bible Belt and therefore you're wrong. No, you don't get to do that. Now you're beginning to gaslight because you're blowing a dog whistle to say attack them because we're religious. Bible Belt first, and then second, she lies. She tries to suggest that someone that will go through the process of transition and have medical health care for the transition, which the American Medical Association says is completely appropriate, completely medically appropriate, she will, in her wisdom, because she knows God better than all the rest of us, knows not only are you castrating our children, which is not what the American Medical Association or the NCAA says, by the way, but you take it a step farther and say you're committing gender mutilation by chemically and surgically castrating our children. Oh wait, by the way, does that mean I'm supporting chemically and surgically castrating children? No, you've just set up a lie. And you set the lie up by justifying it in religion, which is the atypical open Webster's dictionary of what gaslighting is. You're a liar. And that's how you're arguing your case on transgender in Texas. Shame on you. Shame on you.
And shame on everybody that's in that audience and buying it, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. And on that note, now let's queer up trans rights. Landmark transgender case hinges on Jacksonville outcome. Drew Adams, a transgender male, filed a lawsuit against Nice High School outside of Jacksonville in 2017 after they required him to use a gender-neutral bathroom. A federal appeals court in Atlanta will hear arguments on the case on February 22nd. Here in South Florida, a federal judge has put a hold on a case involving a transgender student suing for the right to play on her school's soccer team until a decision is made.
So this little 13-year-old girl can't play on her soccer team until they come to some kind of agreement in another state.
Basically.
Really?
Really?
Like, how ridiculous is that? I mean, like, seriously, all the girl wants to do is play soccer. That's it. She wants to be part of the women's team at the Olympics in the future. All she wants to do is play a game.
I'm not in any way condoning what's happening, but they're in federal court. So the federal appellate
Speak to us, lawyer.
The federal appellate court, that's in Atlanta, pretty much resolves the cases here in Florida, Georgia, and there's one other state. My constitutional professor would be very sad about not remembering that.
We won't know the difference.
But it's one of those
states. We'll be like, okay.
Alabama.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is Alabama. But anyway, so the federal appellate court, which happens to be the 11th Circuit, just like here in Miami-Dade, we're in the 11th Judicial Circuit. You can't forget the 11th Judicial Appellate Court for federal court, is the one that governs. So anything that happens in federal court will basically affect those states that it's in. Because it's binding, right?
So in other words, it's just a tied legal situation.
It is, unfortunately.
And the one who's suffering is the child.
The
or the children, yeah.
And, yeah, that's very sad.
Very sad.
But let's continue on with our Handmaid's Tale storyline for today's news, because it seems that that's where we're going.
Uplifting
just to end the conversation.
Happy Valentine's
Tale. It was one of the things that I continued to explore over the weekend at the Florida LGBTQ Democratic Caucus. What do you think about all of this tonight? Queer News Tonight is just full of this. we would like to report on other news. We would like to, but this is the news of the day going on that's affecting LGBT. What do y'all think about the fact that this is February of 2022 and we are now 15 months really, let's say 13 months in actuality, removed from Donald Trump, and it's actually worsening? What do you think about that?
But I think it's just, the wheels get set in motion, and it just takes a while for everything to kind of catch up. And I think that the people that are believing all these things and wanting all this legislation are catching up. It's just because the wheels were set in motion. Because everything has there's a time lapse in politics. I mean, in my opinion. So I think that's what's happening.
And in law, everything takes forever, right?
Unfortunately,
Nora?
I mean, in family court, a simple divorce could take 6 months. Because it's just so hard to get into court, get into a mediation date, get a case management conference. It's just taking a really long time.
Can we all then therefore agree it's the attorney's fault?
It's the attorney's fault. I was going to say earlier, because I think you mentioned it's the women's fault. Jimmy Buffett, there's always a woman to blame.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to pursue this over the weekend because I continue to challenge these people that are front and center in the fight to say, where is the receipts? Where are the receipts of exposing primary children to sexual language in schools that justifies don't say gay? Or what is the book that is being taught in the classroom that is converting people into homosexuality? Please provide the receipts to me. It's crickets. You can't find a Governor DeSantis to say, here's the moment. This is exactly what this is designed to stop. Because these moments don't exist. And if they don't exist, we're back to the gaslighting, which is we're creating a situation that we're implying we've become the ultimate consumers of Tucker Carlson and Fox News. If I say it, it's true.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do is just to say it before it becomes true.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that I wanted to do the story on Valentine's Day gay sex, and instead we had to do these stories because we
ran out of time.
We bring you the real stories that affect our community, and that's what it is.
Right.
Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We're broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine and supporting that partnership. Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
This is Mo Laredo, local law enforcement in South Florida, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Well, we're going to finish tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment that we call LGBTQ plus Flash News. In LGBTQ plus Flash News, this is a great story. Kathy Griffin celebrates being cancer-free. And how does she do it? By skinny dipping. Kathy Griffin is shaking her boobs in joy. And letting the whole world know. On Instagram just yesterday, the iconic comedian posted a short video with the caption, quote, "Verified 6-month lung cancer scan is clean. No more #cancer. And yes, I'm skinny dipping in the pool while shaking my boobs and butt," end quote. Griffin first announced that her cancer was in remission in December during a visit to Jimmy Kimmel Live, after having undergone surgery to remove half her lung. She initially revealed her cancer diagnosis in August of 2021. She's the epitome of the D-list, which is the joke, because she's not on the D-list. And her news yesterday proved forever Kathy Griffin is coming back, and we want our D-list girl to become our A-list girl all over again in LGBTQ.
You know what I did at my 6-month cancer-free scan? I went and flashed everybody at Haulover Beach. I went topless and then I got Botox. That's what you should do. Love you, Kathy.
But Faye, that's what you do every week.
Ooh, right?
I mean,
right there. I didn't think about
sorry,
that.
yeah.
But it was
anyway. So I was going to use the D-list line, but I will say, you know, she is just fantastic, and I have loved her forever. And when she held He Who Shall Not Be Named's head detached, that was a shining moment, and
I cheered.
Yeah, I cheered for her.
And
I cheer for her now.
I wish he was back with Anderson on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah, hello.
I just say congratulations. Good for her, and good for her for living it up. So that's all I got.
Kathy, shake that ass, girl.
Oh,
Or those titties.
oh, isn't that a
And that
song?
comes from the lesbians
There
at
is.
the table.
It's a nice pool, too. LGBTQ plus flash news. Schwarzenegger.
Really? She gets a cancer-free, and you're talking about the pool.
That
You're
was a
so
dope
gay.
infinity pool.
It was.
That's an
She was
A-list
wearing
pool.
sunscreen.
A-list pool, right?
Okay. Where was I?
I don't know.
Flash news.
All right, got it.
Because, you know, I'm sitting next to Faye, flashing Faye.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger and Hayek Super Bowl commercial celebrates the LGBTQ plus Greek gods. Watch this.
My fellow gods, the dark skies have spoken.
It is time for Susan and I to retire.
But where will you go?
Zeus! Sorry, Zeus! I need a charge in this. Oh! Thanks!
Sweetie, it's not rocket science. I'm heading out. Don't forget to take Peggy for a walk. Mwah!
Yo, Zeus! A little juice! That's it. I'm done with this place.
We'll see about that. Everything okay out there, baby?
Little Peggy, a little walk, huh?
I figure you could use a little pick-me-up.
All electric?
All electric.
The BMW iX. Electricity in its ultimate form.
Electric Avenue.
Then we take it higher.
BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Okay, so Hera and Zeus may not generally be identified with the LGBTQ plus community, but when the two gods decided to retire from Olympus, they retired to the famously gay-friendly Palm Springs. Zeus may be famous for throwing his lightning balls, but the electronics of modern life confuse and frustrate him. Hera decides to help him out and make him feel better by getting him one of the new BMW electric vehicles. Well, I love the commercial. I think it's super cute. And I'm still getting over the fact that Salma Hayek was on the cover of the ARP magazine about 3 months ago. Yeah.
Honey, I was just in Palm Springs, and there were no silver daddies like that. Where were they?
Well, let me tell you, Jesus Christ, Salma Hayek. Oh my God. That's
right.
the only part that I saw that really mattered out of the commercial.
The
Go ahead.
$100,000 BMW in the
No,
commercial
none of that
didn't matter at all?
No, Salma Hayek.
Text your wife.
What was
now,
it?
please.
That's it.
You know, it's funny to me. I was never an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and I agree with you. It was
Right?
like, ooh, ooh.
I love the commercial. It was the best they've ever looked. I want a Beamer, and all I got was this corny ass little ring from my wife on a cupcake.
What about the diamond next to it?
Yeah.
Well,
Or the amazing sex.
or that big car outside. Okay, whatever, guys. I got a good wife. It is what it is. All right. LGBTQ plus flash news. I'm gonna get you, Victor. Super Bowl 2022. Where did all the queer go? The 2020 Super Bowl was the queerest on record, you remember, with commercials, including at least 10 well-known LGBTQ plus stars in the commercials. The next year had the worst ratings of any Super Bowl since 2007, despite many people still staying indoors due to pandemic. Continued protests by members of the LGBTQ plus and black communities due to anti-LGBTQ plus stances of some players and officials, as well as ongoing racial issues, could have been why advertisers have decided to not include our community in commercials this year. I love the commercials anyway, but I did miss our LGBTQ plus representation for sure.
All the gay people I know watch this Puppy Bowl.
I watched the Puppy Bowl too.
I missed this year's concert, so I can't speak to it.
I didn't know gay people watched the Super Bowl. I didn't know we watched the Super Bowl.
I'm a big sports fan. I watched it starting about 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday through the third quarter. Yawn, fest. Yawn fest. This no gay is absolutely true. The halftime show, maybe a highlight, but I text Faye and I text Kitty Meow and said, if anyone's really excited about this halftime show, which I liked the music, Eminem especially, but it reminds me, all the people that really liked it, it's time for your colonoscopy.
Yeah, right. And Eminem kneeling was,
I thought he was taking a break because he was tired from being old. Okay, I didn't know till this morning when I saw the story. I felt so bad. I go, oh! I thought he got tired. And 50 Cent hanging upside down, that fool's too old for that. You can't do that to him. And he's bigger now. He's more like a dollar bill after that power money. You know, you can't do that.
It's not good for his blood pressure.
And it's not good for his blood pressure. I didn't even know who he was until I saw the 50. And I was like, oh, that's 50 Cent.
You mean 50 Cent is who you mean. And he's now a dollar bill. Ooh, that's a ruthless read. And by the way, the other thing that the best tweet of the halftime show was, wow, I feel like I'm back after prom after party, because it was like 25 years ago.
Yeah,
I did watch the halftime show. I thought it was fantastic.
Did you?
I did.
All right. Well, it's time for a colonoscopy.
You sure it was the right halftime show?
Okay.
Maybe. LGBTQ plus flash news.
Yeah.
Copy a little bit of Dale's style.
Do it again.
Flash news.
Yeah.
All right. History is made on Super Bowl Sunday with 5 out gay cheerleaders.
All right.
That's right. Despite the lack of queer representations in commercials this year, the LGBTQ plus community did make history with the cheerleaders at yesterday's Super Bowl. While fans of the Bengals have been shown to be the most LGBTQ plus friendly in the NFL, the sexualities of the Bengals is unknown. The LA Rams, however, broke a record this year with 5 openly gay men on their cheerleading team. Quentin, Jose, Napoleon, Brendan, and Eswin joined 23 female cheerleaders as they kept the Rams fired up on their way to victory. As you were yawning. With the Super Bowl being less than 40 minutes from West Hollywood, it was good to see at least a little LGBTQ plus representation. So this is my turn to start, right? Good for you guys, you know, cheer away. Fantastic.
Cheer away.
Yeah.
Memorable. Oh wait, that might have been a read. I'm sorry. You know, my friends from college, University of Central Florida.
Are they still alive?
Okay, I hate you, Dale. It's very funny because I was definitely in the closet. President of fraternity, could not be out. And
when did you come out? Sorry to interrupt, but when did you come out?
29,
wow.
Late. And I had a friend that was a football and basketball cheerleader. And my friend was very, very close at UCF. And it was a joke because all of my friends did not learn until later that I and the cheerleader were.
Did you guys play ball together?
We did.
Play with each other's
and when this story came out over the weekend, it just brought me back to some really good times. Really good times. I like cheerleaders.
Nothing like throwing around some balls from time to time, right, Faye?
Once a year.
Yeah.
No hace daño. What was it? So I love the part that says sexuality unknown. Really? Really? Boy cheerleaders? Really? Napoleon? Really? Hazme favor.
Right.
Well, I think they're adorable, and with the name Rams, I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
I would expect more gay cheerleaders.
Oh, crass. I mean, those outfits were basic, so I'm going to question whether or not this story is true. And on that note, LGBTQ plus flash news. HBO confirms John Cena's superhero Peacemaker has sex with men. Somebody get me a tissue. When John Cena's Peacemaker, Lord Jesus.
Listen, if you're looking at his
And I'm not
package,
religious.
say his name correctly. It's John Cena.
John Cena.
Excuse me.
Okay.
The only thing we're looking at
It's his package. I know.
No, he has a nice everything.
Oh, Lord. When John Cena's Peacemaker first appeared in the Suicide Squad, fans were hooked. After a pivotal scene where Peacemaker stands in his tidy whities for several minutes, does anyone even remember what else the movie's about? He quickly became a fan favorite. Now in the hero's self-titled show on HBO Max, it's been revealed that he wasn't joking in the film when he said he'd be okay with eating a bag of dicks. In last week's episode, Peacemaker had to fight his father, the white supremacist villain, the White Dragon. During the fight, his father tells him why he hates Peacemaker so much, saying, quote, "I knew you was unclean when you was born, and even more so when you killed your brother," end quote. The White Dragon says, quote, "I knew when you listened to that devil music, I knew when you shaved your body like a woman, I knew when you slept with the horrors of polluted blood and men," end quote. My favorite quote I think I've ever read on this show.
Queer News Tonight? Really? Okay.
Oh my God, I think we need to see that picture again. That's all I got.
When I read this, I thought to myself, wow, I haven't said bag of dicks in a really long time.
You missed it? Did you miss it?
I did a little bit.
You know, there was that courtroom scene last March when you said bag of dicks.
Did I?
Yeah. I read about it in the news. Yeah.
Oh, I think it was an appellate decision, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny to me about this story? John Cena, good for you to do this, because you are anti-character to your real life character, the wrestler, all of those kind of things. For him to do this, I really applaud him, and I hope in the news that is coming out on this that he's appreciating the LGBTQ men. Gay men's reaction to this, that we're loving it and that he's appreciating the love he's getting. We're dreaming about having sex with you, but we never can. That's the compliment.
So the White Dragon kind of sounds like my mom. I remember her telling me once, "Oh, I knew you were unclean when you started sleeping with those whores."
Wow.
Wait. Oh, of polluted blood.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just thinking they should really change the spelling of the title to P-I-E-C-E. Peacemaker.
Yeah,
because that piece is fine.
Oh, wow. All right. So with that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Well, then help us by liking and subscribing. Ring the bell for updates. Share this news with your friends and your family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
You know, I don't know if production can bring up Mr. Cena and Peacemaker's slide one more time, but as I close the show out, I'm just going to sit and close the show as I watch this and remind you that if our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world, I'm still looking at the image, that tells these LGBTQ stories in motion and sound, and that is the passion of the Happening Out television network. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, John Cena, and the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including FayWhat, Dale Stine, Nora Rotella, and Victor Diaz-Herman, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. Happy Valentine's Day.
Good night. Love you, Teresa.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire...
It is time for Susan and I to retire.
But where will you go?
Zeus! Sorry, Zeus! I need a charge in the... Oh! thanks.
Sweetheart, it's not rocket science. I'm heading out. Don't forget to take Peggy for a walk. Mwah.
Yo, Zeus! A little juice. That's it. I'm done with this place.
We'll see about that. Everything okay out there, baby?
Hey! Yeah.
Little Peggy, a little walk, huh?
I figure you could use a little pick-me-up.
All electric?
All electric.
The BMW iX. Electricity in its ultimate form.
Electric Avenue. And we take it higher.
BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Okay, so Hera and Zeus may not generally be identified with the LGBTQ plus community, but when the two gods decided to retire from Olympus, they retired to the famously gay-friendly Palm Springs. Zeus may be famous for throwing his lightning balls, but the electronics of modern life confuse and frustrate him. Hera decides to help him out and make him feel better by getting him one of the new BMW electric vehicles. Well, I love the commercial, I think it's super cute, and I'm still getting over the fact that Salma Hayek was on the cover of the ARP magazine about 3 months ago. Yeah.
Honey, I was just in Palm Springs, and there were no silver daddies like that. No. Where were they?
Well, let me tell you, Jesus Christ, Salma Hayek. Oh my God.
Oh,
That's
right.
the only part that I saw that really mattered out of the commercial.
The
Go ahead.
$100,000 BMW in the
No,
commercial
none of that
didn't matter at all?
No, Salma Hayek.
Text your wife.
What was
now,
it?
please.
That's it.
You know, it's funny to me. I was never an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and I agree with you. It was
Right?
like, ooh, ooh.
I love the commercial. It was the best they've ever looked. I want a Beamer, and all I got was this corny ass little ring from my wife on a cupcake.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus